for the cross. And it's the skipper, George Johnson. Saved off the post and then Alfie follows up.
The international break is over and we are desperate for league football to return. Now, before the break, the Addicts were on an 8-match unbeaten run, and Nathan Jones will certainly be hoping that we can have a very good Friday for all the Charlton fans around the world. The visitors, or should I say the hosts, are Exeter City today, and Gary Caldwell's side sit 1 place and 2 points ahead of the Addicts in the league. The Grecians won the last 2 matches going into the international break and will post a challenging test for Nathan Jones's in-form side. After the withdrawal of 2 weeks without a game, we've got a bumper-sized pre-show for you today. We'll hear from the main man, Nathan Jones. We'll look at the international debuts of Ezri Konsa alongside his former Charlton Academy teammate Joe Gomez. We'll take a special look at the club's unique connection with Jamaica. And we'll see what happened when the Charlton Upbeats played against Nathan Jones and a number of the men's first-team players at Sparrows Lane. Well, it is a very warm welcome to everybody around the world. And if you haven't got your match streaming pass just yet for £10, please do so. As it is a bank holiday, we can stream both inside and outside of the UK. So please do that if you possibly can. Now, with it being a Good Friday, we not only have a longer pre-show today, we have not one, not two, but 3 familiar faces. Curbs, Liz, Brownie, how are we going to do this today, eh?
Just let Brownie talk. Me and Kev are going to talk about the tunnel and just let Brownie talk about the football.
Well, it wouldn't be Curd. I mean, Curd, it's been a long time since we've seen you on Charlton TV. Let's talk about the tunnel. How was it today?
Actually, I come the other way. I come Dartford. So, yeah.
But it was still bad though, wasn't it, according to you?
Well, yeah, it wasn't that good, but there's all people going on holiday and things. What's going on there?
Going on holiday? Who does that, Bradley? Who goes on holiday?
Not when everybody else is going.
No. Curves, we haven't seen you for a long, long time.
Month.
Where have you been? You've been Spain,
Cancun.
Rugby, Cancun?
Wales.
Ooh, unlucky.
I had a great weekend, actually. Went to England-Ireland rugby on the Saturday, and on the Sunday, took my son-in-law, who's French, to the Wales-French game. And, the French won, so he was happy.
I bet he was.
Yeah.
Spain good, Cancun good?
Yeah, lovely. 30 degrees. 30 degrees in Cancun. Bit too hot for you boys.
No, I'll take 30, yeah.
You'll be all right, Liz.
Why is that?
But,
Start already.
no.
Started already.
And Spain's like 22 degrees at the moment. It's mad. So.
Well, it's still technically Europe, isn't it? So,
yeah.
You know,
well, we're not in it now.
No, we're not in it.
He's such a shielder, isn't he? Around your talk all show.
Well, I want to ask Curbs another question. When you were on the beach in Cancun, you sent us a photo of your feet, didn't you? With the beach and then the sea. Did you have a little cheeky sort of Charlton TV to the side while you were watching the...
No. So I'm really interested in seeing the team today because, as you say, 8-game unbeaten run. Interested in team selection as well, but the 8-game unbeaten run, I want to see what the difference is since I've been away. I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah. OK, we can go to kickoff now. Come on, tell us, you two, what you've been up to. International break.
Yeah, well, Mrs. Brown's away, so I tried to get out for golf as much as I kid, but the weather's absolutely kiboshed it. So I just sat indoors, really. I haven't done a lot. Got a knee replacement in place, September.
Have you?
Tick that off.
You got the date?
Well, not the actual date, but it's September, yeah.
OK.
It hasn't. The letter will come through with the actual date, yeah.
The only issue we're going to have is once he's had it done, he's got nothing to complain about.
No, I've got the other knee then.
Oh, you got the other
and
knee?
Okay. Never teeth, and then once I look a bit like Steve Austin, start running in slow-mo.
So, Brownie, two knee ops.
If it is $6 man, that's what it'll be.
$6.
£6, man. 2 knees?
Yeah, get it both done over next year.
Yeah, I'm sure you will. Okay,
Liz is all right. He ain't got nothing wrong with him.
No,
No, he's looking a million. He could still be playing.
He just can't get in the ground.
no. I can now. Yeah, I'm officially part
Because
of
it's
it.
an away game. That's right.
Yeah.
So, in terms of the football, look, we should be talking football. That's why we're here. I mean, Curbs was saying, tell him what we've been missing, because it has been good from Nathan, hasn't it?
Yeah, I mean, in terms of 8 unbeaten, it's a good run. But the last game, unfortunately, I mean, you missed a classic. It was a Fleetwood horror show, wasn't it? It was not a nice game to watch.
No.
So the last one was. But the beauty is we're not losing those games.
We would have lost it, yeah.
Yeah, and we took the. I guess actually, the team's probably driven away from that game thinking, had the lead, conceded late, and it feels like you've dropped 2 points. When in reality, the draw was a fair result actually on the balance of play. But it was just a horrible. Pitch was horrible. Weather was horrible. But it's good that we've managed to maintain the unbeaten run.
Yeah.
So, that's the focus, I think.
Yeah, the top teams find a way to win, don't they? And even if you're not playing well, but at least we didn't lose. Liz, you've been impressed in recent weeks?
Yeah, more to do with the starts that we have. I think we start off really well and we seem to be in control of the games. We seem to be, as we spoke about, turning teams, putting a lot of pressure on them. But I just feel maybe the last half an hour of games we seem to lose. Maybe need a little bit more experience in that team in the last half an hour just to close games off and see them out and get the 3 points rather than the 1 points. But as you say, the manager's just come in. He's probably looking at players now, looking at next season and learning what players can do what next season. So, yeah, I suppose, as you say, 8 unbeaten, but should be a few more wins in there, I think.
Did you tell us what you did in the break?
No, Branny was speaking as walks me up. No, I don't have a break. You know me, I'm coaching, I'm working, I'm mentoring and looking after to young kids.
Brownie.
Brownie.
Looking after Brownie.
As soon as I came in, he was upset with
Honestly.
me today straight away. So
What a shirt.
Yeah.
I like a bit of corduroy though.
No, to be fair, as soon as I walk in, if Brownie says he doesn't like it, I'm over the moon.
Yeah.
If he says that looks good, then we got issues.
Start to worry.
You need to off. I'm going t-shirt only today.
What's going on here with it? What's going on? Well, these two.
No, it's been
Mate,
like
this is what they're like when you're not here, so you don't obviously see
What's
it.
they like
do
when
you,
I was
you're not
playing
here?
together now?
Well, you tell us.
Well,
We both went on the pitch at the same
I
time.
was probably moaning. Yeah.
probably both in the reserves at the same time.
Playing well in the same 0.
Nothing wrong with that, Brownie. A game's a game.
Hey, back here again, Kev.
Because in terms of sort of international breaks, obviously Nathan didn't want it. We still don't really see the point of Wigan calling that game off, but it was down to them. How did you find international breaks yourself, and how do you think Nathan would have been dealing with it?
Well, I think the two different leagues, like in the Championship, you've got so many games going on that it was nice to have a bit of a break. In the Premier League, you knew they was there, and you knew that you was going to have that break. So I think I just used to take turns. The staff used to take turns having that break. Mervyn went first, then Snods, then Keith, then me, and whatever. But we all took turns to have a break away from the players. So it worked out well. And funny enough, I've just been talking to someone, I think the Premier League, some of the teams had 20 days break.
Yeah.
Like 3 weeks off.
With FA Cup.
Which is difficult,
yeah.
keeping the players that are not involved in international, keeping them fit. They feel as if it's a punishment, but it isn't, because they're not playing and the others that are on international duty are. So sometimes it can be awkward. And I think this gap for the Premier League certainly is a bit awkward.
Yeah. 9 points clear of the relegation zone. We're safe now, aren't we?
I'd say so,
Yeah. So what's the plan going forward?
I think a bit like what Kev said earlier is to experiment maybe and players that you're 50-50 on, or you chuck them in and see how they go. I don't think this squad is going to be the squad for next season, and there will be players, I guess, that are borderline at this moment in time in Nathan's head. Players won't know it. And I think it's time to maybe tinker with one or two, not too much, because I think he's selling the unbeaten run at the moment. So keep that going as long as you can, but tinker with one or two players, give them an opportunity. There's a couple that I think are coming back from injury we need to see. Taylor, I don't know if he's fully fit. I'd like to see, we said it earlier, I'd like to see Taylor in the side and having a little go. We don't know much about him at the moment.
And important, do you feel, to get the win today, to leap above Exeter, and again, if we can, try and chase the ones above us rather than... It's nice to think about the ones above us rather than below us, isn't it?
Yeah, it is, and as we're sitting here saying we're safe, but as a manager, I'm sure Curbs will tell you, until you're definitely certainly staying up, I'm sure you've always got that little hint in the back of your mind. Let's get another win. I think one more win, I think we're certain. And then, as Brownie said, maybe we can then start looking at changing the team around and start putting people in and seeing what people are about for next season. So I think 3 points is always vital, especially.
And that's good when you're winning as well, if you're changing the team, because the players that... He's obviously explained it to the players, but the players coming out don't feel that bad about it because he's saying, I've got to see everybody. Yeah. And if you're playing well as a side and getting results, it's a little bit easier. If you're not getting them results, then I'm sure he won't be tinkering with it. But he does need to see certain players. We've just been talking about Hector, for instance, been out injured so long, and he's only ever seen him in training, so that he needs to see him in a match.
He will see him today, and we'll come on to that in just a second. By the way, don't forget to get your WhatsApps in, because we already had one. It's +44 7384 517 580. Of course, it's Dave in Spain.
And it is 20
Dave,
degrees.
hope you're well, mate. Just saying that it's beautiful weather.
Yeah, cheers.
We are all around Rob Guttridge's house, me, Kevin Hopkins and 5 dogs.
Oops.
Good to see he's taking the dogs, and he's admitted they are his dogs now as well. We've been a different team since Nathan Jones took over. Actually, a pleasure to watch, and I, for one, am very optimistic about the next season. Up the Addicts. Love that, Dave. Enjoy the sun, but enjoy the game as well. OK, let's get to Nathan Jones, shall we, and hear from his press conference that went on yesterday.
Hi Nathan, I know it wasn't your preferred choice, but have you been able to use the break in the league programme to our advantage?
Yeah, look, well, we'll see, but what we've been able to do is rest up a few, get 1 or 2 back, and then put some real good work into them, which was essential, as I said, especially in the early stages, when we've been here sort of 6-7 weeks. So to be able to have 2-3 weeks to work with them, hopefully we'll see the fruition of that.
The break has seen 4 of our squad travel to play for their country. 2 of those are academy graduates. Croy Anderson, who played in both Jamaica's games in the Nations League, and then Nathan Asimwe, selected in the squad for both games for Uganda. Aside from the inconvenience of the break, of course, how positive is that Croy and Nathan have got that recognition, and how important and positive can it be for the future for the club that they get that experience?
Well, it is real good experience, and you're always proud of when you get international players at wherever, every club I've been at, we've had a real good selection of international players, and that's important to be proud of that. Yeah, I know it comes at an inconvenient time and so on, but the fundamentals of it is they're good enough to be selected for their country, and we're proud of that, and especially ones who come through even Michael Hector and people that have been away. Ashley Maynard Brewer normally goes away on international, so there's a few internationals here, and we're proud of that, and we only want to add to that.
Before the break, and with the players away now, they all come back in a good state of health. I know before the break we had Lloyd Jones, who'd been missing due to injury. Has the break enabled him to come back into contention? Well,
he's closer to where he was, and Chuksaniki and people like that, they're all closer than what they were, so that's the good thing. We have used it, that's been the positive for it. We've been allowed, 1, be able to get some good work into them, and 2, being able to get a few people back.
Yeah, Chuksaniki and Kane Ramsey were the 2 I was also going to ask about. Are they closer to come?
Yeah, both are, as I said, exactly the same as you said. They're both really much closer than what they were before the break, so the squad's in a lot healthier position.
Cool. We've got Exeter City up next, a trip down to Devon. A chance to leapfrog them in the table as well, and extend our own game unbeaten run, but we're against a side that bounced back from a poor run, a 5-game winless run. Now they've got back-to-back wins, so they'll be a confident opponent.
Absolutely, but look, if we take every game on its merits, we know that every game's a different challenge. They're well drilled, well coached. Always a tough place to go, good place to go. I usually enjoy time down there in terms of the city and so on. But it's a tough game, and we know that. But we're not. We just want to get points for us. We're not worried if we leapfrog or whatever. All we want to do is make sure we keep this run going, get to the level of performance that we want. Because we dipped slightly below it at Fleetwood, albeit in horrific conditions. So we want to get back now to the levels that we were showing pre-Fleetwood.
And you'll be backed by, again, another sellout Valley trip, away crowd. It's inspiring, isn't it?
They're brilliant. They're just brilliant. They're just great. They're positive. The energy they bring, however they are just magnificent. And we're delighted. We expect it. And they've had 2-week breaks. They've had 7 away games since this will be in my 10th game, and there's 7 away games. So they've been at every game. They've been vocal. They've driven the team on. Been magnificent. So we are coming to expect that now, but we don't take that for granted.
And just finally for me, one thing that happened during the week was you got a visit from the Upbeats. to Sparrows Lanes for a training session for World Down Syndrome Day. I'm guessing that put a smile on everybody's face. And did they give you a few tips on what to do?
Well, it didn't put that much a smile. We lost a five-a-side against them, so we were a bit miffed with that. But no, look, it was great to see them. They said they do great work in the community and everything. They're a big part of everything we do here at Sparrows Lane. And as I said, it just goes to show what strength we have here and the community strength we have here at this football club, which Charlton, which we are now, but we've always been proud of here at Charlton. So it's great to see them. Yeah, they did put a smile on their face. You know, they were delighted to be here, and it was good to see them because they brought a real energy to the place.
Great stuff. Good luck, sir.
Cheers, thank you.
Yeah, a wonderful day for the Upbeats, and we'll come on to them just a little bit. But let's have a look at the team, shall we? Just the one change from the last match. Michael Hector comes in, the centre-half who helped Jamaica earn a third-place finish at the CONCACAF Nations League in midweek. Comes in from Marnie Edmonds-Green. Also a place on the bench for Tayo Eden, and Chuck Sanike has missed the last 4 games with a calf injury. So, Curbs, there's the team. What's you thinking?
Well, coming into today's game, not knowing the team selection for recent matches, I just wanted to work out where Alfie May was playing, because obviously Nathan's changed the team around somewhat. He's had him playing wide right, he's had him playing up front in the 2, he's had him playing as a number 10, and you know, I think that wherever he plays, I think Alfie needs to do well, because I don't want him getting disillusioned if he ain't playing up top. You know, if he does play wide right or does play as a number 10, still get involved in the games, because I think he's a big plus for us.
To be fair, Liz, the two of them have worked really well, haven't they? Kanu and May.
Yeah, we spoke about it in the last game, and there seems to be a real understanding between them both. And the more you play together, it just automatically it starts clicking. You start getting each other's movement. It's also important the midfield 3 behind them also keep that consistency as well. So they've got that maybe a 5 up front, a bit real understanding of how each other plays and triggers and movements and that. But I thought the last game, especially in the first half, they done really well.
And Michael Hector in, Brandy. Good opportunity for him, isn't it?
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, I think his contract's up this summer, so he's got a little bit to play for, but needs to get playing minutes, you know, for himself first and foremost. Yeah, I think it's like always. If we can get the 2 wing backs higher up, that's where they're more comfortable for me. And if we're controlling a game, if we're controlling possession, that allows them to do that. I think Watson's been very good under Nathan, and I think it's purely because he's been able to get in positions much higher up the pitch, and he can show what he does as a player, you know, as an adventurous player going forward. But yeah, we've brought in a bit of experience, so it's not like we're, you know, I feel a bit for Lucas Ness. I will say that. You know, before his injury, I thought Lucas was doing terrific, and then since the injury, he's found it really difficult to get back into this team. I think he's a player that needs a run at some point, whether it's out on loan or something, you know, which will be starting next year. But it'd be nice to see him in the team at some point before the end of the season as well.
And Chuck's on the bench.
Yeah.
Good to see him back.
Yeah, well, it is. I mean, it must be so frustrating for everybody, not least him, you know. But you know, the injuries he's had since we've been doing this is quite incredible. I wouldn't know what to do now. If he gets himself fit as he is now, what do you do in the summer? You know, do you allow him to go off, or do you just keep him in? You know what it's like. If you allow him to go off for 3 or 4 weeks, is that going to be a problem?
You mean keep him in training?
Or keep him in
monitoring
training? Yeah, monitoring him. But
he's missed a lot of the season.
You've got to give him a break, and he's had enough of that treatment room.
Yeah.
You know, so it's a difficult one. And perhaps something to ask Nathan what the plan is, because when he's fit, he's an handful, isn't it? We know that. And I would imagine the Exeter back 4, if they see him coming on tonight, you know, will be a bit concerned.
Yeah, it's actually a good question, that, isn't it, about the summer? We all want to have a little break mentally, but he's not been around enough during the season, has he, to justify a complete summer off?
I'd be very, very shocked if he wanted a break, if he wanted the full time off. For me personally, I think you give him 2 weeks off, and then you say to him, look, you're in for another 2 weeks, maybe get a week off after that. I think you've got to try and break it up. But I think the last thing you want to do is have him off for the whole summer and come back and unsure what shape he's going to be in. And I'm sure, more importantly, I'm sure he'll want to do it. I'm sure there's something inside of him that says, look, I need to have a really good year next season. And I think that's the most important part, is that he feels that he needs to get himself fit, rather than the manager saying to him, look, this is what we want you to do. I think there's got to be some sort of agreement between them both.
And you get the feeling it could be a very exciting season next season as well, one which I'm sure he'd be absolutely delighted to be a part of. OK, now on to the women's side now. We lost 2-1 to the London City Lionesses here at the Valley on Sunday, conceding in the 89th minute and then in injury time. And Brownie, you were here last Sunday, weren't you? Heartbreak.
Yeah, it was heartbreak. They didn't deserve to lose, Charlton, for sure. But I do think the Lionesses deserved an equaliser. They came on strong second half. They had 2 or 3 very good opportunities during the game. But the killer blow in added on time was a bit cruel. You know, so it's one of those games where I thought out of possession we were terrific, kept the Lionesses at bay, and they're on a bit of a resurgence since they've changed manager as well. So it was a good game. I thought out of possession we were terrific. We got ourselves in front with a really well taken goal. But yeah, the added on time goal was a cruel blow, and they didn't deserve to lose for sure.
And we, Curbs, you especially have been talking about how we want the women's side to be playing here. Tell us about the atmosphere. What was it like, Brownie?
Yeah, I mean the numbers are growing for sure. I think they were anticipating a few more. You know, with that game being quite a local game. So, but you know, I was talking to Charlotte Richardson on commentary about how if you think back 10 years. You know, we were a million miles from where we were 10 years ago, and it's only going to grow. So in the next 5 years, you will see much better numbers. But I think in terms of the championship and the teams that are in it, it's a bit like, you know, there's 4 or 5 really strong sides, and I think they're going to have to look at maybe the 1 relegation, 1 promotion, and change that to 2. Because I think the weaker sides in the Women's Premier League, you're doing them a massive favour by only 1 down.
Yeah.
And I think the governing body will have to look at that, because you've got some 4 or 5 really strong sides now that probably deserve to be up in the Women's Premier League. So
yeah,
but numbers will continue to grow for sure.
Absolutely, and we wish Karen Hills and the side all the very best going on. The Addicts will be looking to bounce back with a huge game this weekend at the Valley against promotion rivals Birmingham City. Make sure, if you possibly can, because it is Easter Sunday, that you are here for that game. And more bad news this week, though, as it was announced that Ella Rutherford will miss a period of time after undergoing surgery on a knee injury. Ella is Charlton Athletics women's longest-serving player and scored the team's first goal after the team turned professional in 2021. She previously joined us in the Charlton TV studio, and the best wishes from everyone at the club to go out to Ella, as we wish her very much a speedy recovery. And Liz, it's always tough hearing anybody getting injured as well. I don't know what you were like with... I feel like I should ask Brownie this, but...
You know what, funny enough, I was just about to say, I'm sitting between these two. I've spent the last 10 minutes talking about their knees. And you're going to ask me.
And you're fine. So let's throw it back. I mean, his knee is only because his grandson was running rings around him. So let's throw it back at Brownie then. I mean, what would your advice be to, not just to Ella, but to anybody who's going through
it's a lonely period.
Recovering from surgery? Yeah,
it's a lonely period. That's the first thing. So, you know, I was sent away to a clinic, so that was a real hard task to get through that on your own. It's not nice being away from the training ground working on your own. But
is that by the missus or
no. It was a physio at the time, and I mean we can talk about it on another show because I went to Epsom, went to a clinic in Epsom, and
Is it the army place?
No, private clinic. But I think that's because the physio at the time wasn't particularly good enough to deal with my rehabilitation, so we got sent to a place that was, you know,
can't imagine who you're talking about there. But anyway,
but
mentally,
mentally it's tough. It's a tough road, right? But you know you're going to come back, and that's your light at the end of the tunnel. Is setting a date and working towards that date. But it is a long, lonely road. But once you come out the other side, what Ella's suffered there is a setback. She had one done, another knee injury, and I would say absolutely do not rush. So if there is a date set and you're not feeling quite right, don't rush it, because beyond that, when you get back on the field of play, you know, you've got to think about in 20 years' time. You have to, and we didn't when I was playing. You didn't think 20 years down the line. You just played, and you played with things you shouldn't. You had injections you shouldn't have, and you shouldn't do that.
There's been an investigation going on in the women's football at the moment,
yes,
because of the amount of knee injuries.
ACLs,
I don't know what Ella's had.
No, we don't know yet.
But ACLs especially, and I think they're looking at sort of the training. Has to be modified because he's putting too much pressure on the girls' legs, on the knees, and that's the injury that a lot of them are succumbing to.
Yeah. OK, now during the international break, as Nathan alluded to in his press conference, the men's first team got a very special visit from the Charlton Upbeats. Let's take a look.
The Upbeats been running 16 years, and I known these lads since they was like little, and so to see them grow up, flourish, become men, and the chance they get to come down, play a bit of football, meet their heroes in Charlton. There's a couple of big Charlton fans amongst the Upbeats as well that they go week in, week out, and they watch them from the stands. But to get the chance to play against them and play with them and meet them up face to face is brilliant.
It's great to meet them. Just a great group. A really productive group. Obviously, they come here, they lift the place as well. So happy to be here and to see everyone, and it's great to have them here.
Yeah, really fun. They give us a good game. But no, you could see the smiles on their faces and how much it meant to them. And listen, it's been a fun day.
Yeah, it was really good. Had a great time. I think it's good to see the lads enjoying it. People in my family have had disabilities and they still do, and they live with that. So I know that it can be challenging for a lot of people, and the difficulties that they've faced throughout their life. So I think it's always important to acknowledge that. As much as these lads, they can do whatever anyone else can.
From year one, we can't credit the fans enough. They just come out in their droves. They really support the Upbeats initiative, and over the years, it's grown massively. And they know how important the Upbeats is for the community trust and the club itself, to showcase what great work that we do with the Upbeats, alongside a lot of the other projects we do. But the Upbeats, it's got something special in my heart, to be fair. So it's brilliant to have the support that we get from the fans.
Yeah, it was really fun. I had a really good time actually, and I scored a goal and stuff like that. That was great. But then I saw all the young players and stuff. Mate, they're absolutely amazing, and they're great.
What was the score? They won, didn't they? They won.
They did. Nathan said it, didn't he, in the press conference? Yeah. Absolutely, yeah, not unbeaten then, shall we say. But Kurt, that's brilliant, isn't it, to watch?
Absolutely, and I think that Nathan mentioned it. I mean, the community's won so many awards, and fantastic what they do, and that is just another part of it.
I played golf on Monday, actually, with Will and James at the London Club with Tubes and Ange for their golf channel as well. Just take a look at this.
Hope all is cool. It's Tubes and Ange here from Golf Life. I just want to say, get involved with the Charlton Upbeats Walk on the 20th of April. If you can't get involved with it, make sure you donate.
Yeah, we're donating. Make sure you do. It's a great cause. Get on it.
Up the Upbeats, legends.
Yeah, look, I have to say, Tubes and Ange, I got in contact with them because we know that Will was an award winner, a medal winner with his golf, which is fantastic. So thank you very much to those two. They will donate. And if anyone can donate as well, I think there's 70 contracts out on the trust. Only one Charlton, the trust, don't receive money for, and that is the Upbeats. So it's all about donations. It's fantastic. And the Upbeats Walk coming up as well. Liz, I'm going to be there at the training ground, just starting everything off. It's brilliant, isn't it? It's such a fantastic cause.
Yeah, we've spoken about this so many times. This club is a massive part of who I am and the history of the club and what they do for the community. Even though I'm East London, I've very much bought into the trust fund and what they do for the community. So listen, this club will continue to do that and always give back. So yeah, I think sometimes we lose focus of what football's about and what we can do and how we can inspire people. And it's good that Charlton does that and inspiring in people as well.
And the trust is one of the very best trusts in the country, Brownie. But the Upbeats hold a special place in the heart in the trust, don't they?
Absolutely, they do. Yeah, and what I would say, we've just won an award, haven't we, this week?
Yeah, we'll come on to that.
Okay, well, then it all rolls into one, Scotty, in terms of I've been to an award ceremony this year, and it was very humbling, to be honest, and I think it goes slightly amiss. When we show the VTs and all that, it goes amiss how many people are involved and how deep that goes, and some are volunteers, some get paid, some don't, and you look at it and you think, we look at these screens and you see a minute's clip, and actually, when you see how broad it is and how much work goes into it, it is very humbling in terms of what Jason has achieved and the community scheme has achieved. It's very, very, very good. Deserves all the awards they get.
Absolutely. OK, moving on from the Upbeats to the international break, and it was a particularly proud one for the club's incredible Academy graduates Joe Gomez and Ezri Konsa twice played in the same back four representing England, with Konsa making his England debut on Saturday and his full England debut on Tuesday. And Academy director Steve Avery spoke to Charlton TV earlier this week about the pair.
Steve, you were at Wembley on Tuesday watching two Charlton Academy graduates play in the same England defence. How was that evening for you?
Well, it fills you with enormous pride. It's almost like a surreal moment, really, because looking at the two lads, with Joe coming onto the pitch so early in the game as well, and being able to watch both of them on the pitch for, you know, best part of 80 minutes in a packed Wembley against a top-class team like Belgium. Yeah, it was a great night for me to reflect on as I'm watching the game. Really proud of those two boys, and I know lots of other academy staff are here as well, and also to catch up with them afterwards.
And how was that catch up with them after the game?
Well, it was, again, another one of those moments to cherish, really, because I'm sat there with my wife and my son, who I took to the game, and suddenly from behind me, tap on the shoulder, and the two lads have come over, just to have a word. So I spent a good 10-15 minutes with them, and then went over also to meet their families, because it was good to catch up with their families. In some cases, first time in quite a while.
And starting with Ezri, it was his full debut on Tuesday. Do you remember when you first met him and his journey through Charlton?
Well, his journey started a little bit later than Joe. He came in as an under-12. I remember both journeys very well, of course, and I suppose what sticks in the mind most of all is those latter years when they were at Charlton. First of all, breaking through as under-16s, as Ezri did, into the under-18s. And then, of course, figuring successfully in an under-18 team, as we've had in a lot of those age groups over the years. And then going on to his pro contract and establishing himself in our first team.
And Joe as well, you've spoken about him a lot before, but how pleased have you been watching his development and his progression this season as well?
Well, with Joe, a little bit more of a longer journey, came in at under 10, of course. But similar to Ezri, they both demanded, with their ability and their physical capabilities, to play in age groups above, which they did, particularly from under 14 onwards. Both, you know, Joe breaking into that under-18 team very early as a 15-year-old, and of course breaking into our first team that little bit earlier than Ezri did as well. They both kind of bypassed the under-21s, really. That sometimes happens, not very often, but I've got fond memories of both lads' journeys.
And are there any specific moments that stick out in their time at Charlton, maybe starting with Ezri and then on to Joe?
I think, well, there'll be many individual performances that I can kind of recall where they excelled, but in both cases, I think what does stick about in my mind is that, again, when they were selected for England at international youth level. You know, Joe figuring in an under-17 team that was successful in the European Championships, and Ezri doing likewise, you know, when he went with that team to the World Cup and they won the World Cup. So watching them play at international level, for sure, but without specifically remembering their debuts, watching them play at first team level, you know, and stepping out onto the Valley, or even in an away game that I might have gone to, you know, watching them wear the Charlton shirt, that's what we're in it for.
And following on from their time at Charlton and obviously their England appearances so far, they've got an interesting few months ahead of themselves as well, haven't they?
Yeah, they have, yeah. They'll probably be sitting nervously, you know, wondering whether they can make that final Gareth Southgate squad. But they've got plenty to be getting on with in terms of Premier League games, because both teams obviously challenging within those top four positions. I think they're the kind of lads who, as they always did here, they just seem to take things in their stride, whether it's a challenge that's facing them, as there will be in these remaining Premier League games for them. In Joe's case, you know, with him suffering with injuries the last couple of years quite a bit, something that, you know, they're both very resilient, I feel, and Joe in particular has had to be that over these last 2 years to establish himself once again at Liverpool and get back into this England squad.
and watching them play together for England, how much of an inspiration will that be for our young academy players here at Sparrows Lane?
Well, it just shows them what is achievable, really. I mean, there's plenty of photographs around this place of Joe and Esri in Charlton shirts, in England shirts when they were younger. And the fact that we've got 2 players who are playing at the very highest level of football in this country, in the top league in the world. All players, I think, have that dream, don't they, to become a professional footballer, and players, quite rightly, have a dream to play at the highest level. What I would say about these 2 lads is clearly they had ability, you know, to be able to play at the levels that they've played at and continue to do so. But there was always lots of desire, lots of dedication, wanting to listen, wanting to learn, make sacrifices, and being supported hugely, not just by the people here, but by their family as well. But it's great that you've got 2 lads playing for England against Belgium, against Brazil, and they've both come through the system here. And I've had plenty of young players come up to me this week, and I've been asking them, you know, whether they watched the game and watched our 2 lads. And you do have to remind some of the younger boys as well, the very younger boys in the academy, that the 2 lads did come through here.
Curbs. I mean, what a moment that would have been for those 2.
Yeah, absolutely. And, you know, it goes back a long way. I think when Powley made his debut for England up at Villa Park, me and Merv went to watch it, and Merv ordered himself a nice bottle of champagne.
Taking credit, was
yeah, well, I thought, well, I signed him from Derby. I don't know what happened there. But no, it's great, you know, and Scotty Parker, etc.
You didn't come watch me play for Jamaica?
No.
It's like I said to you earlier. It's like Robbo's Welsh caps, so they don't count, do they? 1 England cap, 100 Jamaican caps.
Bang up order. How many came? You bang up order. How many came through? I mean, don't give me exact numbers. But
Yeah, we were talking about this earlier.
Yeah. So Scotty Parker, Konchesky, Powley. Did I mention anyone?
Did Youngie get in the England squad?
Youngie.
But at least, to be fair, I mean, you know, for the lads who are in the academy right now, I mean, you.
Yeah, but Youngie, we signed Youngie, didn't we?
Yeah, and Powley we signed, yeah.
And Millsy.
And Millsy as well.
We signed 2 right backs.
He played for England.
Yeah, he did.
He played in the World Cup. He played in the World Cup quarter-final. But you know, the youngsters will be looking at that, won't they, and saying, "Look, started here at Charlton, and look where we are playing for England now."
Yeah, if these young boys at Charlton Academy are not inspired by what's gone on before them, not even just international cups. You're talking about Brownie. We've spoken about it ages. So many of us have come through this academy and went on to play in the Premiership and now internationally. And I mean, once you walk into that training ground, you should feel the history. Of speaking to Brownie, I'd like a few more pictures in the training ground of a few more of Brownie, myself.
I don't think I'm anywhere. It's like I didn't play for the youth team.
You're in the Hall of Fame, mate.
I'm not fit or anything.
You're in the Hall of Fame, aren't you?
I don't like to talk about it, but I played in the FA Youth Cup final.
The only team in Charlton history to get the FA Youth Cup final.
Absolutely. And we won the Southern Junior Floodlit the following year.
You rattle the names out.
2 years later.
Yeah, I was in that. Yeah, Brentford in the final.
Was it? And you in the Hall of Fame?
Oh, yeah. Done Lurker again.
No,
done Lurker again.
Lurker's Rob Lee.
Rob will be watching this. He'll be seething now.
Done him again.
He did him proper.
What's HOF?
Yeah. Should we make it not about us and make it about...
you're right.
What we were just talking about. Do you think the 2 of them have a real shot at the Euros? Both of them?
Tough one, because obviously when you have friendlies back to back, it is Gareth's opportunity to, and so it is really tough. You know, I mean, obviously he experimented a bit with Dunkey and Lewis Duncan. You know, he's made the mistake, and you think, you know, it is your time to experiment. Tough one. I think maybe one of the 2 will go.
Yeah, I think one of the 2.
Because Stones was out when he come off.
He should be okay though, shouldn't
Walker.
Hopefully.
But I think they were talking about extending the squads, weren't they, by another 4 players. So I'm sure if they extend it, I'm sure one of them will be a certain.
If they extend it, then I think both of them will be in it. Yeah. But I think it ultimately has to go down to 23, which is good.
Well, I think Joe being so versatile,
yeah, I agree. I think Joe's the one
playing different left back, right back, centre half.
I actually think Conser, but anyway, we'll see. Alfie Doughty as well. I mean, obviously too late for him, but he's doing really well in the Premier League. He's another Charlton Academy graduate, isn't he?
Absolutely, yeah. And there was talk of him sneaking in, you know, but I think it's come a bit late, hasn't it?
Yeah.
So,
left back's a bit of a problem for England, really, isn't it, at the moment with the injuries? And he's not really a left back. I think it's more of a wing back, but we'll see what happens. OK, speaking of international pride, and Liz, you starred in a club video released this week.
Look at Brownie's face. I've known him almost all my life, and he never knew I played for Jamaica.
I didn't sweat in training.
Hold on 1 second. Hold on. Let's just hold on 1 second. Just have a look at this.
Something my mum used to do all the time, and it's funny because little things like that get you to appreciate the music and the music and what some of the meanings are behind some of the music, and it's nice to hear them singing the songs and then to hear them understanding what the songs meant and why we play it.
What was that about? No, Liz, no, on a serious note, yeah. I mean, it is a great feature and yeah. Clearly very proud. I mean, you mugged off England, but...
Yeah, yeah. No, listen, I've spoken about playing for Jamaica and what it meant to me, and my first game for Jamaica was actually here at the Valley as well against Ireland. You didn't come and watch that one, did you? No. That was against Ireland here. No champagne or nothing here.
Yeah, got a Prosecco for that one.
Yeah, to walk out to the national anthem. And yeah, of course it did. What's up with you, T? I have actually been Jamaican before, innit? All my parents are Jamaican.
It's interesting you say that, because we've linked up, obviously, with this club in Jamaica. Yeah. You've played for Jamaica. And there was recently a really good trip to Jamaica. You didn't make it. Yeah, you didn't get to the big boys table, did you?
I'm sure I'll be on the next one, Brownie. I'm sure I will be. I'm sure it was a misunderstanding.
In that full feature as well, you can also hear from men's first team player Corey Anderson and also former ADIC and current board member Paul Elliott, CBE, MBE. So head over to the club website to watch that in full. Let's move on from Liz, but stay on the topic of Jamaica. Michael Hector and Corey Anderson helped them to a third place finish at the CONCACAF Nations League with a 1-0 win victory over Panama on Sunday night. Hector played the full 90 minutes and provided the assist for Dexter Lembekisa's match-winning goal at the AT&T Stadium, while Academy graduate Anderson came on as a substitute in the second period. The duo also featured in the Reggae Boys' agonising semi-final defeat against the USA, who won 3-1 following extra time. Hector was on the pitch for the entirety of the contest, with Anderson introduced from the bench on 73 minutes. And elsewhere, Manchester City loanee Lewis Fiorini started and scored in Scotland's under-21s 4-1 triumph over Kazakhstan in their UEFA European Under-21 Championship qualifier in Paisley on Thursday night. And Curbs, look, Michael Hector, he also made the CONCACAF Nations League team in the tournament. So it's a great boost for him, and it'd be great to see him in a Charlton shirt today, wouldn't it?
Absolutely. I think that, you know, Nathan has got to assess the squad in terms of what he's going to do in the summer, who he's going to keep, who he's going to let go, etc. And with Michael being out injured, and it's great that he's played these couple of games, and I think he does need to see him, because he's an influential player, and if he's not in his plans, then surely he'll be in someone else's plans. We've got to move some players on. Yeah. We can't just keep bringing them in. So there's going to be a bit of movement in the summer. So Nathan now needs to assess who's staying and who's going. Absolutely,
and Nathan Asimwe as well was called up for the first time by Uganda. Unused substitute, but I'm sure Nathan got a lot of experience from that as well. OK, on to some updates, and men's first team season tickets are now on sale, with supporters able to maximise savings by purchasing at Phase 1 pricing before 11:59 p.m. on Friday, May the 10th. Adult season tickets are available from as little as £310, which equates to just £13.48 per match, making them among the most affordable in Sky Bet League One. And Brownie, does it feel like there's a real kind of exciting season ahead?
Yeah, I think so. I think it's leaning towards that way for sure. You know, we've been winning this studio for the last 2 or 3 years, and with the build up to the start of the season, you're thinking, right, this is the season, it's gonna come together, and it just hasn't materialised for whatever reason. This change does seem like it's got a bit of momentum. It does seem like the fans have sort of turned a little bit and are really positive about, you know, Nathan's appointment and the team in general moving forward. So I think if the owners can back that up again in the summer with a bit of recruitment, a bit of positive recruitment, and I think Curbs is absolutely right. I think Nathan's already stated he wants to work with a smaller squad. So therefore, if there's some quality coming in and we can offload what to trim that squad down, I think that will see the momentum continue over the off-season, and then pre-season becomes vitally important. And then, I know we say this every year, but the start next year, I think, is absolutely crucial.
Yeah, recruitment and the start, as always, absolutely crucial. Now, a big event for all the family coming up on Wednesday between 12 and 4 p.m. here at the Valley. A free family fun day is set to run in the West End car park with local vendors on site as part of the food and drink offering. The event is open to all with no registration required. Bring all of your family to meet the men's and women's first team and enjoy a variety of activities, including face painting, mini football games and a fun fair attractions. OK, let's bring it back round to today, shall we, and have a look at the Sky Bet fixtures in League One. There's some big games as we head towards the end of the season, with it being Good Friday as well. Good Friday, Easter Monday. It's a massive weekend, isn't it? Cambridge, just above the drop zone, will be looking to end their winless run away to Barnsley. Derby, who lost during the international break, will be hoping to return to winning ways against Blackpool. Fleetwood host Cheltenham in a huge game at the bottom of the division, both in the relegation zone. Automatic promotion chasers Peterborough take on Carlisle. Stevenage against Bolton, another big game in the playoff race, while Portsmouth will be looking to extend their lead at the top of the table away to Wickham. And Brownie, let's start with Fleetwood Cheltenham. Two sides in the relegation zone who we have seen recently, you have to say. Will either of them stay up or both of them go down?
Well, Cheltenham have got a game in hand or two, so they've got the best chance for me. But that is that Fleetwood? It's that Fleetwood, isn't it, I think? And, we saw the struggles that any team has going there. It's quite an uncomfortable pitch to play on, and if the weather's like it was last week, you don't get much football. So that's down to sort of how you defend set pieces on the day and balls into your box. But yeah, I think both of them are struggling, but I think maybe Cheltenham out of the two have got the better opportunities.
Just got to mention about Portsmouth as well. John Mousinho, the job he's done in his first proper job, it's incredible because it's another team. I heard him on the radio the other day saying it's 7 seasons now we've been in League One. Yeah. We're very similar in terms of that. If not, we feel like we're bigger, aren't we?
Yeah, I mean, you look at them fixtures, some of the sides in there have been in the Premier League for a long while, and, it amazes me how strong this league is in terms of names anyway, and ex-Premier League clubs. And Portsmouth, I think, once that gets going with the backing, the fans getting right behind it, it's a difficult place to go to. Although we find it all right, don't we?
Yeah.
But no, I mean, just close your eyes and think about the teams in this league. And you're right, we're looking around here going, we're in Division 3 and look at it, we shouldn't be here, but there's so many other clubs in the same situation.
Yeah, got to mention Liz as well. Alfie May, 4 goals ahead of Devante Cole and Jamie Reid. He ain't passing, is he, from now to the end of the season? What are you doing?
He's now based upon goals only. Listen, we say that, but the sort of player he is, he's very influential in the way we play, and he's crucial in linking the play as well, and the quality that he has on the ball. But make no mistakes about it now, everything for him will be about finishing top. To be that age and have that journey that he's had in the season he's had, it would be actually criminal for him to lose it at the final hurdle. And I'm sure the character he is, I've spoken to him a few times, I'm sure his teammates will want that for him as well. Yeah. So I'm sure they'll be looking to get him in as much as possible.
I was at a London Awards night about a month ago and he got an award there. Yeah, EFL player.
He's a player we like a lot, isn't he? And he is one of those unselfish players that, okay, yes, of course he wants to win the Golden Boot, but he still will pass if he feels there's a better opportunity on.
Yeah, and I think we've seen him when he's angry, when it ain't going so well, he puts an extra bit in, perhaps too much. Some of the tackles he's got involved in when we was having a bit of a bad time, yeah. And I think that play him up top, he's dangerous, but in that number 10 role as well, because if it looks like that ball's going in the box, he's going in there as well, and he's going to make the extra man.
Yeah. Brownie, you're a goal scorer. No mistake in the script here. Let's swiftly move on, shall we?
That's not fair.
It is fair.
I don't think you scored from 45 yards.
Yeah, I did that.
That was a tackle. It wasn't a shot. I don't know if it counts.
No. I certainly haven't done what Alfie's done. I think he's the top scorer now. The consistency of Alfie needs to be mentioned. It's 3 years. And I think he scored more goals than any other striker in League One over those 3 seasons. It's the consistency he's showing now. It's every year. He's a banker.
And in teams, you have to say, struggling.
Yeah, absolutely.
Cheltenham, obviously, and
if you look at
us
his
this
attributes
season
as
as well.
well, we spoke about it the other day. He's not like a 6'6" striker who can get crosses, and he's almost have to be clever about what he does and intelligent, and seems to be working for him.
You respect him even more for it. Just a reminder for you at home or watching on YouTube or Twitter to get your live streaming pass, well, within the next couple of minutes if you can, for just £10 to be able to watch Charlton TV's production of today's match. It is a bank holiday, so whether you're in or outside of the UK, as you can see the live pictures there, you can get your pass to get behind Nathan Jones's side. So Brownie, let's have a look at the teams then, shall we? Remind ourselves of not just our team, but also Exeter's team. What are we expecting from them?
Yeah, I mean, they've just picked up, haven't they? They're on a bit of a miserable run, and they've picked up with a couple of good wins. They've sort of reverted to a back three with a 4 in front of that, 2 and a 1. And actually, they try and play football. The back three splits, and they'll pass out between them three through the units. And I think Tom Carroll, sort of the central midfielder, drops deep to try and link everything up, and the wing-backs get relatively high. But from the highlights I watched, when they penetrate in behind the opposition defence, they don't necessarily cross into the middle of the 6-yard box. They cut it back into the second 6-yard box, if you like, and the 3 midfielders, the 2 behind the striker and Woods from deep, it will be today, come on into that second 6-yard box, and they get a lot of finishes from there, sort of penalty spot out. So we've got to be aware of that today. You know, I think 3 of the last 4 goals have come from that position.
Really interesting. How many people has replaced Ben Purton since he left?
Yeah,
in that position. I mean, I've had a lot, haven't we, at left back?
Yeah, and we liked him, didn't we?
Yeah.
Again, very versatile, could play that left side centre half as well. I mean, Brownie, you've actually answered Billy on the WhatsApp, well, not the score predictions, and I'll ask all 3 of you that, but who's going to be the one to watch for Exeter? I'll leave the score predictions until the end, but look, Curbs, 8 games unbeaten, and Nathan has talked about a strong end to the season. Is it unrealistic to think that we can go unbeaten from here to the end of the season?
We've got some big games. Well, we've got some games coming up with the bigger size, haven't we? You know, teams that are in the shout for promotion. I think what Nathan has done, he's set down a set of rules or a way we're going to play, and you know, this is how it is, and you know, and I'm looking now. Can you do it? And if you can, you'll be around next season. If you can't, then you know, no hard luck. You know, ever so sorry, but we all move on, and that's why I think it was important we picked up, because I don't think he could do that. He couldn't, you know, have a look at players if we were struggling. He'd be sticking with a side trying to get points, but you know, he's in a really good place at the moment. The team's playing well. He can change the team when he wants, and he's also got them, as we're saying. Do you want to be here next year?
Yeah, that's what it's all about now, isn't it? I mean, Liz is right about, you know, maybe one more win we need, but we're going to get that at some point. Now you're playing for your Charlton future, aren't you?
Yeah, absolutely, that's what I think. And he's probably told them that. You know, he seems like a bit of a straight talker. I've been in here 6 or 7 weeks or whatever he said, and you know, the club, this is the way we're going to go forward, and are you going to be with us?
It's interesting though, you've talked about consistency. Team selection gives consistency results, and we've got that. We've got ourselves away, and now we perhaps could look at other players, but he hasn't. The one change he's made is kind of enforced with Michael Hector coming in, so he still wants to have that consistency.
Yeah, I think it makes us more attractive as well. If we can finish, 15 unbeaten, you know, if that's the case, it does make us attractive. That, you know, when you're talking to prospective players or agents, you know, we are going places. We've got the backing from the board. This is what we're going to do. Do you want to come along?
Yeah. Liz, we beat them 4-1 earlier in the season, but it was close for a point, and they had a guy sent off as well. That doesn't play into this particular game. It's a completely different situation now, isn't it?
Yes, completely. And I'm sure the manager won't even bring up that game. I think he'll be looking at the games we've played, how we've performed, what he demands from the team, what he expects from them. I think it'll be about us at the moment. I think, as Bradley spoke about Exeter play, but I think it's going to be more important how we react to bad moments. I think there have been occasions when something's gone wrong, then all of a sudden 2 or 3 things have gone wrong. So it's about adjusting and fixing those mistakes really quickly in between games.
Yeah. Okay. Let's finish off Billy's other side of the question. Score predictions.
2-1 away win for me.
I'm going to go 1-1.
Well, I'll go right in the middle, 1-0. I like to see a clean sheet.
Oh, yeah.
I've said that instead of Brownie saying it.
Well, I would have gone 2-1 as well.
Yeah.
difficult one to go 3-1 now. But let's go 3-1. Let's be positive and see what happens.
Pitch looks good, doesn't it? You know.
The pitch looks really good, doesn't it? And we did think for a moment, chaps, we were struggling to get Terry and Greg on the line. We were going to have to do a little bit of Soccer Saturday and a bit more commentating. But
it does look windy there, doesn't
it? Looks windy as well.
Alfie May plays it back.
He did, and then I interrupted him.
It lasted 4 seconds.
3 or 4 seconds in.
It does look windy there.
It looks windy, not as windy as the golf yesterday, though, Curbs, I have to say. OK, let's get over to our commentary team, shall we? And hopefully the guys can hear us. Terry Smith, Greg Stubley.
Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to St James's Park. Yes, the game just about to get underway. The Addicts defending away to our left-hand side, slightly to our left-hand side. We're far left, just adjacent to the Charlton fans that have made their way southwest this afternoon. Have sold out away end, which is superb. Charlton all in black this afternoon, save for the white socks. Exeter in their traditional red and white striped shirts, black shorts and red and white socks. As it'll be Exeter to get the game underway, and we are underway here. Ball down the left-hand side for Harris. Back inside to Woods. Being pressured by Coventry, almost stole the ball. It's back with Sweeney. Across to the right-hand side now for Exeter, still in their own half. Ball forward is tapped to the right-hand side again. It's infield to Harris. It's a sliding tackle coming in there from Coventry, and Gillespie's going to have to deal with it. And he's nudged off the ball by Aitchison, who wins possession back for the home side, and then gets the ball off of Gillespie and away for the first corner.
Well, the opening to this match, Tel, has kind of been like our journey, really frantic. And there was a good bit of pace early on from Cox up top, Sonny Cox for Exeter. He's a player who, 19 years old, youngster up top, but he'll cause Charlton problems this afternoon with a slightly makeshift back three of Michael Hector returning to the Charlton 11. First time he started a game since early January, so if you're Cox, you're going to try and cause as much problems as you can.
Corner comes in, headed away by Gillespie. Nice, comfortable headed clearance. He picked up by Niskanen. Pressured by May. So much so that he goes back to his keeper, Sinisalo, as well, out of his box, of course. And to his left now is Harris. Back inside to Woods. Just inside his own half. 1-2 with Sweeney. Releases on the right-hand side now. Back inside it comes. Just momentarily there. Aitchison was available and clear, sends the ball down the line. For a second there might have been an offside there, but Exeter still have it. Ball on the